Welcome back to the Recalibration Blueprint channel. Yours truly, your host, Eric Pena. If you are a new viewer, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Helps push that algorithm more than you know, so I can continue to produce these types of videos with this content in hopes of helping someone or a lot of you guys out there. And this video is specifically for you if you've ever been told that health anxiety is just in your head, that all you have to do is change your thoughts and bam, health anxiety is gone. As I'm sure most of you know, if not all of you that have dealt with health anxiety or are currently suffering through it, know that it is not that easy. That shit simply is not. And so, health anxiety, it could be very complicated or it could be very simple. In my opinion, I actually suffered with it for almost 2 years straight. My health anxiety was developed after a major health scare that mimicked a stroke. That's literally what triggered it for me. Health anxiety is very versatile. It could literally show up in many different ways and it could be caused in many different ways. But the point is that just because what caused it for me did not cause it for you doesn't mean that I can't relate to you. And we both, or if not all of us, don't understand the mental hell, the mental prison, the mental torment that we have to deal with every single fucking day, all day. And that's why I made this channel, to give you guys as much information from my personal journey so you guys could actually cherry pick what you guys like, what you guys want to try out in hopes of helping you supercharge your recovery and just beating health anxiety once and for all. Now, health anxiety, in my opinion, it's when your nervous system loses that sense of safety. And that can happen in many different ways. For example, with me, it was a medical scare. For somebody else, it could be a childhood trauma. For somebody else, it could be some type of panic attack. For somebody else, it could literally be a visit to the doctor, or they know someone that's dealing with health anxiety. They know someone that's been diagnosed with a medically terminal condition and they get obsessed with it. There's many different ways for you to develop it. So that's why health anxiety can be complicated in that regard, but it's also very simple in the sense of what it actually is. And it's all tied to the nervous system. So when you lose that sense of safety, guess what? Your body's immediately scanning and looking for threats that could possibly cause death or some other fatal condition. Just because health anxiety can be simple, it does not necessarily mean that it is easy. It's not easy to recover from, it's not easy to deal with. Now, let me know in the comments below if this next part resonates with you, because health anxiety doesn't just strike those people that have an excess amount of time. Most of us have full-time jobs. We're paying bills. We have your day-to-day stressors, mortgages, rent. We have family, right? This is the true reality of most of us. You see, some people would say, hey, pain and suffering is part of life. And I agree 100%. But this is a whole nother monster on top of your day-to-day stressors that we're all already dealing with. Trying to be a husband, trying to be a father when you are absolutely scared shitless inside your own body. If you have never gone through this, then you will never understand. And I do not wish this upon my worst enemy. That's how serious it can be. That's how bad it is. Wanted to talk about specifically the chain of events that happens as soon as health anxiety strikes. And it all starts with the physical sensation, those physical symptoms, which can be a whole laundry list of shit. It could be a headache. It could be tingling and numbness. It could be a muscle twitch. It could be tightness of chest. It could be shortness of breath. It could be heart palpitations. It could be any little twitch, any little sensation. Once that happens, you start getting this adrenaline. You start getting this energy, this fear harnessed within your body. So, what do most of us do? Logically, you want to go ahead and do a self diagnosis, which is the absolute worst thing that you can do. But we've all done it. We've all done it. I've done it at least 1,000 times without exaggeration. So once you Google, once you chat GPT your symptoms, what happens is the internet is actually programmed to link your symptoms to the worst case scenario. Why, in my opinion, is to make sure that you rule out the worst case scenario. They would want you to go seek medical attention immediately, or they'll tell you that it could be a certain thing, so go to the ER immediately. So we end up in this endless loop. Sometimes, if you do Google something and you're like, okay, you know what, I'm not feeling X, Y, and Z, it's not that, and you give yourself temporary relief. And then all of a sudden, a few minutes later, you feel another sensation, you Google some other shit, and guess what? Now it could actually be a whole nother condition. And then you start panicking again. So then what happens is the nervous system starts to learn that panic and anxiety is actually a form of protection. So that becomes your new norm. That is where you are going to be in a day to day basis. That is going to be how normal you are now. So, guess what? Whenever you are not in a state of panic or anxiety, your nervous system is going to think that something is wrong. Why? Because now your new norm is being in a constant state of hypervigilance and scanning for threats and bodily symptoms. So whenever you do get a window of normal, if you want to call it, of living life how God actually intended you to, free of anxiety and worry, then your nervous system is going to immediately think that something is wrong. Without even knowing, you're actually fucking yourself. You're training your nervous system to stay in a constant state of hypervigilance and panic, that this is the only way to safety. Now, the way that I started breaking through the shackles of health anxiety was not by feeling better, but by reacting less. That is the key component right there. Once you stop seeking reassurance and validation from an outside source, such as Google or even your doctor, when you've visited your doctor 100 times and you've done so many countless lab tests already, blood work, your analysis, and you continue to try to set up some more appointments right there just in case they miss something, that is a vital mistake that you want to avoid at all costs, because it's going to keep you in that same loop and you won't ever be able to break it. That's how you're going to be able to reestablish trust in your body. Once these physical symptoms arise, you literally have to let them be. You observe them. If you feel a little twitch, just sit there, breathe through it. Just breathe through it. You already know that it's nothing serious because you've been down this path 100, 1,000 times or more. Once you just let them be, eventually they will subside. It's not going to happen from one day to the next. This is the thing that you must understand. The repetitions are extremely important and you must put in that work. Yes, these thoughts are going to pop up, these intrusive thoughts. You're going to feel this imposter syndrome. You're going to feel that little bitch in the back of your head telling you, you know what, this isn't working. You need to make sure that you go to the ER. You need to make sure that you call your doctor. You need to make sure that you Google this. You have to let that voice just be. Just like your physical symptoms, it will subside once it sees that you are not overreacting like you were at some point. That is how you do it. That is how you will reestablish safety in your own body and your own nervous system. Wanted to make sure that I left you guys on this note. Health anxiety is not your identity. It's a nervous system pattern, and patterns change all of the time. Now, if you feel like this video has helped you, you are not alone. And if you feel like you don't understand the information on this video, that's okay too. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time.